Hello, everyone. It's Ben from Grappling Insider. Today, I am joined by content king Keith Krikorian. He is, jokes aside, one of the best no-gi grapplers in the world today. GrappleFest champion, Polaris champion, EBI veteran, three-time ADCC veteran, ADCC trials champion. He is also choosing to conquer today. Keith, thanks for joining me today.
What's up, man? Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Longtime friend of the show. Happy to have you on. I see you got a friend there with you behind
Yeah,
you today.
not just a friend. I mean, this is my life coach, wealth coach, guru, whatever you want to call it. He's everything to me.
Yeah. And how does it feel? What are you, like a second, third degree black belt right now, Keith? How does it feel to have Derek coming up on your heels?
I recently promoted myself to coral belt, so I could, reasonably promote my friend Derek here to first stripe on his black belt, on his well-earned, hard-earned black belt. But it feels good, hey.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a legend. It's hard to live in this world as such an iconic figure, Derek and I can relate on that.
Yeah. Literally the face of the UFC with, the face of wealth right behind you right now. I think it's fitting.
Yeah, no, it's a good fit.
So I did, we were talking like I had planned to ask you about this stuff a little bit later on in the interview, but you show up with the Moneyberg background. Let's get right into it.
Tackle it.
Tell me like why you've been, if anybody doesn't follow you on social media, you've been not even going as hard as you probably could at
No,
him.
yeah.
Tell me like, you're usually a pretty laid back, chill guy. Why the memes? Is it fun for you? Is it a little part of like a little annoyed with him? Like what triggered this?
Well, it is definitely fun. Like not many people would know this about me. I don't think I don't show it to the public like too much, but my like really close friends would know that I'm definitely like a ball buster and I'm pretty fun. Like I would confidently say I'm pretty funny once you get to know me. But it was always been really hard for me to like show that to people like unless I had like a reason. And I like somehow stumbled on this guy. I think we all kind of did, right? We're like seeing like pictures of Moneyberg, and we're I don't know, learning a little bit more about him. I'm like stumbling on some YouTube content where I'm like, wait, this dude's real. He's like a real guy. He's you know I mean, I should be careful what I say maybe, but like he's basically a scam artist. And I just like felt super compelled to like comment on it at first, or just like I just saw the value in maybe like shit posting about it. But then I kind of learned more. I heard him talk. I didn't like his attitude. I don't like his arrogance. I don't like how he doesn't respect us, the community, and he doesn't respect our sport at least enough to do what we all know we need to do in order to obtain black belts or to even get good at the sport. You have to train. You have to train with people who you're not paying, I might add. And you have to like, I think genuinely, spend a lot of time. And I'm not saying he didn't like take these privates, and whether he did 5 hour privates a day every day for the past 3.5 years, I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but he definitely, and I can confidently say that he has never trained or rolled at full intensity with anyone that he isn't paying. And so, like, that alone is enough to where I would have to push back on him saying he's an actual black belt, or at least that he deserves a black belt. And then, yeah, I don't know. As I was hearing him talk a lot more, I just observed his general attitude and demeanor. I really started to not like him. And it's really easy to make fun of a bully, And I don't know. I felt bad at first. Honestly, I don't like making fun of people, and I am generally wary of, I don't know, picking on people. Anyone really. But then when someone kind of like pokes you a little bit, it makes it okay in your mind. So long story short, I made a few pieces of content about him. Nothing like too damning, I don't think, like nothing anyone else hadn't said, but I think it kind of hurt because it came from me. Who's like someone, I mean, I'm not like a big name in the community, but I'm someone who maybe whose opinion people might respect a little bit more in the jiu-jitsu community. And I'm not saying that's the case, but maybe from his perspective it is. So then he sends me a DM. I don't remember when or where. As soon as I saw it, I screenshot it and I sent it to all my friends. And I was like, guys, like, what are we gonna do? We have to use this. And then I sat in my buddy's office, Alex Sterner from Electron Performance. I sat in his office for a bit, and we just kind of like were like talking about what's the best way to tackle this. Like, how do we freaking flame this guy for doing something like so lame and against the principles of jiu-jitsu, I feel like, um yeah, I don't know, it was just like, I don't know, just too good to pass up, to be honest. And the way that he gets really upset and threatens lawsuits is so fucking lame, and it's like genuinely something that no one in jiu-jitsu, at least like I would say like a high level black belt, would do to someone who's making fun of them. Especially, bro, I'm half this guy's age. I'm probably I don't doubt he has money. I'm sure he has money. Money through scamming people isn't exactly impressive to me. But like I said, I'm half his age. I'm half his, or I'm not even half, like fucking, a fraction of his, total net worth or whatever you want to call it. And like, he's picking on me. That's so fucking lame. Punching down is really lame in my opinion. Like, punching up is, I would say, which I don't even think I'm doing with him. Like, I'm honestly, it feels like I'm punching down, which is, like I said, I had that moral quandary in my mind at first when I was doing all this. But just like I said, seeing him pick on people, even small like pages. My friends are sending me screenshots of him texting them and like talking shit to them. And it's like, dude, how fucking lame is this? You have supposed 4 million followers on your Instagram, which I find highly doubtful. But you have all these followers and you still choose to, like, I don't know, like belittle random people, who really don't affect your bottom line at all. Like, he's not; those weren't the people that were going to buy products from him or whatever. Like, he's obviously preying on mentally disadvantaged people who don't know that what he's saying is total bullshit and it's completely exploitative and like I said, like a borderline scam. So, not even a borderline. I mean, I don't know too much about that stuff, but like, to me it seems like a pretty clear scam. So anyways, to not be too long-winded about it, that's kind of the long and short.
And I would say, people can go down their own YouTube rabbit holes
Yeah.
and kind of learn about this guy. Whether you call it punching up, punching down, it feels a little easy when he's on the internet calling everybody else losers and haters
Yeah.
and you're too dumb to get your black belt, right? Isn't that, who cares if he has more money, less money? Who cares?
Dude. Yeah.
Doesn't that make it easy to kind of pick on him, so to speak?
Oh, 100%, dude. When he like says the stuff that he says, it's like, it's hard if you haven't really seen it. You're probably like, "What's up? What's this guy's deal?" When you listen to him talk, and when you listen to him call like respected members of the community dummies, or like, I don't know, haters or something, it's like, bro, you're the hater. I mean, I don't want to call him dumb. I'm sure he's a smart enough guy, but like, you're the dummy, bro. Like, the fact that he doesn't realize that he's kind of the joke, and he thinks that we're the joke, is really like, it's pathetic, but it's also just, I don't know, it's low hanging fruit, because it's like, when someone looks like this, you see this guy when he does this unironically, this is not like a joke. Like, if I were to do this, I would pose in this exact same manner, and I would act like it's not a joke, but it would be done completely ironically. This dude is doing this because he thinks he looks cool. He wears shirts like this because he thinks they look super cool and like fashionable. I don't know. And I don't know. In general, I don't vibe with people that value shit like super nice cars or like, I don't know, cool leather jackets and shit. Like, if you like stuff things like that, like, that's super cool, and if you earned it, you earned it. But like, people that generally make wealth or materialism their identity, I don't really fuck with, and he strikes me as a guy like that. So man, it's just, there's so much to make fun of. Like, it's just, it's a content gold mine, I'm telling you.
It truly is.
Yeah.
I think you also tapped into something like, when I saw that, I think anybody who has any experience actually doing jujitsu, not what he's doing,
Yeah.
they see that and it's like it makes you everybody's saying this on the internet, but you still think of like obviously this guy's not a black belt, right? I've seen the footage. I know that this is just like so
Yeah.
out of the realm and I want to scream it from the top of my lungs, right? But I feel like you're kind of becoming that voice of like finally, right? Obviously, you're not the only person who came out and was like, this is a joke. Like this guy doesn't deserve his black belt.
Sure. Sure.
But you're the one who's finally, I feel like, kind of getting the content rolling here that we can all kind of be like, yes, that's what I've been thinking.
Yeah. I don't know who is anyone else making content about him. I don't like any jiu-jitsu guys, I should say, like big name jiu-jitsu guys.
Not, I mean, I'm sure there are. I think your
Mhm.
buddy Alex Sterner has made a couple things.
Alex is
Uh,
good. Yeah, Alex is funny, dude. He's so funny.
yeah. So what is, I'm curious on that. Like, what is your creative process? Is it you? Is it you brainstorming with friends? Do you have other people coming up with stuff?
Yeah, I will get struck with ideas sometimes where I'm like, this is gold. I gotta capitalize on this, and I'll just like make it. And a lot of times I do send it to Alex, and I'm like, bro, give me some feedback on this. Like, what do you think would make this funnier, or like, is it good? And sometimes I'll just throw shit out there. But a lot of times, like, it's good to have some springboard and some feedback. And a lot of time, I mean, lately Alex and I have just been sitting in his office and coming up with, dude, just the best ideas. Like he's just so funny and creative, and he really pulls the best out of me. And it's like what I was kind of referencing earlier. My only my close friends would know that I'm kind of funny or a ball buster. But once someone does know that about me, and then once we kind of like you know create that rapport, it really does flow super well. Like my I don't know, my creative process just flows so much clearer than when it's maybe just me or someone who like maybe doesn't understand my sense of humor or whatever. So yeah, me and Alex, we I gotta say we work pretty hard on this.
I think you're known as kind of one of the nicest guys in jujitsu. You just got a little hint of hate in your heart. That's really what gets the creative juices flowing.
Yeah, okay. It's not that I don't I just like truly don't think that I walk around with hate in my heart. But what I do hate is people who pick on, less advantaged or I don't know, vulnerable people. That absolutely triggers me. That is something that I hate, and that I think I will never do. I'll never pick on someone that is not in a position to defend themselves. This fucking guy he does that. He picks on people who or he takes advantage of people, I should say, even of people who like don't know any better, and that really does trigger me. And I don't know, I just like how do I say, like, I'm not trying to like white knight over here. It's just like if I have the power to stand up to someone like that, I should. And I don't know, just like him thinking he can bully me and intimidate me and talk down to me is, man. I just like don't see what he thinks he could accomplish by doing that, because it's like maybe one of the I don't know. It's maybe one of the like harder like if sorry for me rambling, but it's like maybe if Gordon's talking shit to me or someone, it's like, okay, hey, I respect your jiu-jitsu a lot. It's like you can reasonably talk shit to me, and I'll maybe stand my ground, or I'll stand my ground, but I'm not gonna push back too hard or whatever. This fucking guy, it's like, no, bro. I'm gonna push back to the point where you're gonna be like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe I shouldn't have fucked with this guy. Just like I think that's how you deal with a bully. And I don't know. My parents raised me too well to fucking like cower to someone who fucking looks like this. I'm sorry. But just like the images don't even do it justice. Like when you hear him talk and you hear his arrogance, you just realize this dude he represents the worst of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree. Has there been any follow-up? Has a lawyer showed up at your door? Has he DM'd you anymore? Anything like that?
Not yet. No, he hasn't DM'd me. Fuck, I don't know. I want him to. I really, really want him to. And honestly, I don't want to say that I want him to sue me or anything, but it's like I I can welcome the thought of like him suing someone like me, someone like I said, I'm probably more than half his age. I have nothing to my name other than like, the people that I associate with. Like I don't know. It just would be so lame. And honestly, another content gold mine, of course. But also just like I think that would prove to a lot of people how petty and how awful of a human being this guy is. That and how thin skinned he is too is so funny. And I think it would be not ideal for me or him. Obviously, I don't think he wants to go through Discovery again. And but it could be like I said, a good way to, I don't know, prove to the community that this dude is like really a fraud and an awful person. And I'm gonna take him off my background now because it is awful looking at him. But here we go. I'll just do none. Yeah, but and I think we've belabored that point probably enough. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been at with the whatchamacallit, the Moneyberg stuff.
Yeah, man, I can appreciate it. Again, I appreciate you kind of being that voice for the community. And I think people were probably a little surprised, mostly surprised that he came after you. Again, you kind of have this reputation of like the nicest guy in jiu-jitsu, but
Sure. Well, I'm nice if you're nice to me. I will give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I will be nice to anyone upon first meeting. But as soon as you show me your true colors, then gloves are off. I'm not just going to be nice to you if you're not a good person. And especially if you're treating me or people that I care about poorly, and or like the sport that I care about. If you're disrespecting it in any way, if you're disrespecting the members of this community, like he has sued, or excuse me, he has threatened to sue tons of guys who like I know and are very fond of, and I can't talk about because they don't want me to talk about it, which is totally fair. But he's, like I said, gone out of his way to like disrespect us and the community, and he's not. It's hilarious when you hear this man talk about like the fact that he didn't take a shortcut here. He doesn't have like an an inside track to getting his black belt faster. He's paying so many people, and all of them have the, I should say, like the incentive to like just give it to. They have no reason to not do it. Like the people who gave him his black belt, no disrespect to Jake Shields, Glover Teixeira, Lyoto Machida, and Royce Gracie, they're not relevant in the current jiu-jitsu space. They're just not. And so they have nothing to lose. They don't know that we are going to be pissed about this because they're off doing their own thing. They're in the MMA world or they're just in their own world, and that's fine. So like I'm not even really blaming them. He's paying them money, but he knows that they have every incentive to give him his black belt, and they have no incentive not to. Whereas like a normal jiu-jitsu instructor, let's say Gordon Ryan, who is still for some reason defending this guy, probably because he's still on his payroll and he doesn't want the checks to stop rolling in. I get that. But someone like Gordon or Danaher probably would not give him his black belt in that time because they have a reputation that could, maybe Gordon at this point doesn't care about harming his reputation. He seems to do that very well on his own. But like I said, maybe Danaher or even, some other people. And I don't want to name too many names because a lot of people are implicated in all this. And I think a lot of people either stand to get sued or are already like standing on a lawsuit through, from Derek because of the things they've said or things they've done. But yeah. And one more point I was going to make about this guy that was funny to me, I think. Oh man, I forget what I was going to say about him, but yeah, I could go on and on. Like he is truly just represents the absolute worst.
yeah, I think I'll say one more thing. I
Please.
think I think we're all. I'm a black belt. You're a black belt, right? Part of it is like, of course, like I don't actually care if this person has a black belt. Like in
Sure.
the grand scheme of things, it doesn't affect me in any way. I shouldn't care. It shouldn't
Sure.
bother me at all. But I'm also human, and I know how hard I work to get a black belt. I know how hard you work to get a black belt. So I'd be lying to myself if I don't admit it. It does rub me the wrong way. I shouldn't. This person who I'm never gonna meet.
Yep.
It really it doesn't matter to me. But
Yep.
you're lying if you don't say it doesn't bug you a little bit.
Yeah, facts, man. And I remember the thing I was gonna say. Imagine Gordon Ryan and Danaher, who are notorious for holding people back on belt promotions. Imagine that they see a blue, purple, white belt, whatever, training with them every single day, twice a day. Let's say 2.5 hours each session, twice a day for I don't know, 3.5 years. Um, let's say that they train that entire time. They never roll once. They don't roll with anyone. They don't even, entertain the idea, which seems like what Derek is doing. Do you think that they would fast track him to black belt? Fucking absolutely not, because they know the value in what jiu-jitsu provides, which is like assessing your skills accurately through an environment that tests you. And just, showing up and getting privates from a bunch of guys who like, I don't know, aside from the Gordons of the world and the Denahers of the world who he's done privates with, like these guys don't fucking know a whole lot about jiu-jitsu. Like at least meta, like that's controversial probably what I said, but like modern jiu-jitsu. They're all old MMA guys who probably just come in, they show them some old school arm bars or whatever the fuck, and they call it a day, right? And then they go on their podcast and they jerk each other off, and he pays them, I don't know, probably a good check, which is tight. No, like, shame. We've all done stuff we don't want to do for money, right? Like that's life. But do you really think that Gordon and Danaher would promote this fucking guy who's just showing up? He's not rolling. He refuses to roll, and he refuses to even acknowledge that he should roll. They're not gonna fucking give him a black belt. It's like, and they're the gold standard. Like I mean, like I said, they're notorious for holding people back on belt promotions. So if they're not gonna do it, if they wouldn't do it, then why the fuck should we think this guy actually deserves this thing? Because it was given to him by like an inferior lineage or like belt instructor. Like, it's like if someone got a black belt through Gracie University, you'd be like, okay, sure. you know so that was the thing I was gonna say, but I haven't heard too many people comment on that, probably because they know Gordon's gonna fucking come after him or something.
I mean, I will say Gordon in his support that I don't know if you've seen the clip of Rogan asking him about it. Gordon was very quick to say, "Well, I didn't give him his black belt. I didn't.
They
It
all
wasn't
are,
me.
dude. They all
I
say
didn't
this.
give him his
Yeah.
black belt." Even though
Yeah.
he's kind of trying to be like, he's actually pretty. He's normal. He's not a world beater. He's trying to kind of support him, but he's very quick
Yeah.
to be like, "I didn't give him his black belt." So yeah, I
Sure.
mean, I think you have a great point there. I also think talking about like I'm thinking like Helena Cravar was a brown belt, a blue belt just like a year or two ago, something like that, right?
Like
Again,
what,
I'm not
what,
saying
what are
I'm
we
not
what
saying
are we
Danaher
talking
held
about?
her
Yeah, you
back,
know what I
but
mean? It's like and I get it. He's, I don't know, 50 something or whatever, or maybe he's like 60, 70. I don't know. You can you can give a little bit of credence, maybe, or like, I don't know, leeway to those type of guys. But when they lack the fundamental characteristics of what jujitsu teaches you, which is humility and resilience and discipline and strength, and like the things that I kind of see him lack, um, he doesn't deserve a black belt because of that. The guys who you would fast track who are in his position or at his age category, like they would at least display the values or the, I don't know, morals of a what you would, I don't know, typically think of as a black belt. Like a traditional martial artist is someone who's, respects everyone around them and has like been molded through, the trials and tribulations of the art itself, because it is, I mean, as we all know, extremely humbling and it's extremely difficult. And you would only really know that if you're doing the humbling and difficult things, which he is not. So, I feel like we've talked about him for fucking way too long. I'm sorry. It's
oh, it's
just
okay.
it's so fun. It's so good to talk about. I fucking hate this guy.
No, it's totally fine. We could change gears, but just a little bit.
Let's do
So
it. Let's do it.
I still kind of talking about social media. I've noticed like an uptick in your social media, being a little bit more outgoing, a little bit more creative with your content. Is that on purpose? Was that like in an effort to like boost your career or anything like that? Or was it just like I got some more time on my hands, I want to get good at this? What drove that?
No, I have less time than ever before in my entire life, but the choice to up my social media output is entirely intentional. So a few things have happened, I guess, over the past year that have changed my outlook. I think the first one was, how should I say, like my manager did kind of call me and he said, like, listen, I want to help you find sponsors and get big matches and big paydays, but the issue that we're all noticing is your social media is not good. Your engagement's not good. Your followers are very low. Like, this is not this is a problem for someone, who wants to make money outside of just doing maybe privates or teaching classes or whatever. And so that was kind of step one. So I was like, okay, I'm stepping it up a little bit. I'm like, you know, doing a little bit more. It's here it's hit or miss. Whatever content's resonating or it's not. Most of my content I'd say like would resonate with the fan base that I had, but that's all like most of my close friends, people I've met, and who know me and hopefully like me and whatever. But you have to appeal to more than that audience, obviously, if you want to make a name in the sport or a name on social media or just make money. And so then I went on the UFC BJJ show and I was talking to a lot of the guys and they're telling me about their social media strategies or content or maybe just like how they've profited off of social media and stuff and opportunities they've gotten through that. And that was definitely an eye opener to me. And then the third thing that's hilarious actually is my sister started a cat page on Instagram that within about, and she grinds, like, don't get me wrong. Like she posts 2 to 3 times a day, every single day, no matter what. Like she's super disciplined and dedicated, and it's really inspiring to me. She blew that page up past my following within like 3 months, and I've had my page for how many years? Granted, I don't put a whole lot of effort into it, and I always maybe actively push back on like my perceived like clout chasing or I don't know maybe the aspects of the internet that I like don't like I maybe didn't put a whole lot of effort into my page, but regardless, my sister just like blew her shit up on this cat page, and then she was telling me like what she's making like per post per sponsored post or like how what her strategies are and stuff. And all those things combined, like I just took it upon myself to put my personality out there more, put actual effort into my social media strategy, and be myself. Like I'm not like the most interesting person in the world, but I do feel like I'm quite interesting if you know me. But you wouldn't really. I can only meet so many people in a given amount of time, right? Like you have to reach more people, so you have to open yourself up to showing your personality to people. So that's been a huge strategy of mine. So like I made it a goal for myself, like a few months ago, like 3 months ago or whatever. Like post every single day for the rest of the year, see what happens. And just in that past 3 months, like I've already grown probably like 10,000 followers. My engagement is really, really high. My content resonates, I think, with people, and it's all things that are like I actually want to post. It's not stuff that like I'm like forcing myself to post. It's not like, and people can sniff that out too. When you post something that you're like, I don't really think this is authentic to him, to this guy. Like they're not gonna be interested. They're not gonna click on it. They're not gonna engage with it. But if it's stuff that like they know actually matters to you or matters or should matter to them, then they do engage with it. And like I said, like since making that switch, like just like 10,000 followers isn't like crazy, or anything. And I know it's small potatoes, but like with anything in life, like just stick to the process, trust the process, and embrace like incremental returns. And that's kind of what I'm getting. And eventually, same with like anything in life, your jiu-jitsu progress or your I don't know, financial progress or personal progress, whatever. It's like there's peaks and valleys, but it trends up over time. You want that kind of like exponential type return. And so that's what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna stop anytime soon. I'm gonna keep putting a lot of effort and quality content out there, because I mean it's something that I think will benefit a lot of people, and then B, it's something obviously that could benefit me in my career. It is important to be on social media in the position I'm in as a an athlete, like this is part of my job. This is part of like my duty to myself as a person in this space, is to make a name for myself and build my following and become, you don't want to become a social media guy necessarily, but you want to have a social media presence, which is my goal these days, is like develop that presence and show people my personality. I think I am like, I think people, if you just like kind of like look at me or hear me talk once, you're probably like, this guy's super annoying and I kind of don't like him. But once you kind of start to see me a little more and you learn a little bit more about me, like I think I represent like the average dude, or person. Like I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not like a billionaire. I'm not like a fucking, I don't know. I'm just a kid and I'm super flawed and I show that to people. And I think that, resonates with a good amount of people because we're all just an average person. We're flawed. No one is perfect, and embracing that is, I think, important for people to see, and for people to also hopefully embrace as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like the uptick in following is just a reflection that you're doing something right. And I think it's like you bring up a great point that you don't want to be a social media guy, but you have a social media follow. We can't all be like, I think of a guy like Giancarlo Bodoni who barely posts, but right, he's two-time
This is a big name in
ADCC world
sports.
champ,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He doesn't necessarily need, not that you need that. You're still going
yeah.
to be a big deal in the sport, even if you never post on social media. But
Yeah. You can do both, or you can do one or the other, but you can't do neither, right? Like you can't be really good you're sorry, excuse me. You can be really good and not post. You can post a ton and be not very good, but you can't just not be either. You can't be a dude who sucks and also doesn't post. No one will know about you. No one will ever know about you. You know what I mean? And I always wanted to be the guy like Giancarlo, and I think that's like maybe what I deep down kind of am. I'm pretty introverted. I'm not super outspoken unless you like really get to know me, which I'm sure is the case with Giancarlo as well. And I like genuinely don't give a shit about my following or followers. I never have. I've never cared about that stuff. Maybe when I was like younger, right? You want people to notice you. You love attention. But as I learned what's truly important in life as I got older and as I had all these struggles where that the only people that mattered in my life were the ones that genuinely cared about me and the ones that were in my life and that like wanted the best for me. It wasn't I don't know however many X amount of followers I got from going to ADCC or winning trials or whatever. So like as I like I said, as I got older, like, and I was aware of those things, like I didn't want to put myself out there and I didn't care to, and it just like didn't matter. And I kind of saw all the negativity or all the like, maybe just the content that like, or just, I don't know, just the attitudes that I would see online that I didn't appreciate or I didn't really vibe with. And I was like, I'm just going to sit this out. But then I kind of thought about like, I can add value and I can maybe hopefully change the discourse online. Like I can promote more positivity or like more, I don't know, critical thinking, or just, I don't know, impart some of the wisdom that I've um got. And I'm saying I'm not a wise person at all, but I've been forced to learn a lot of really tough lessons over the years because I've gone through a lot of hard shit. And it's good, it's worthwhile to share that with people and to show people that we're all human, we can learn from each other. And if I can help someone who's like a young kid in the position that I was in, struggling daily, if I can help them even a little bit, then that works for me, and that means a lot to me. And I recognize I'm kind of like maybe practical enough or pragmatic enough to understand that the bigger following I have, the more I can reach people like that, the people that I am trying to maybe help, the people that are struggling, that I don't know, just they feel lonely or isolated, or they don't have a place in this world, or they don't know what their life is going to look like. And those are the people I want to help, and I want to tell them that it doesn't matter as long as set goals for yourself, as long as you stick to disciplined thinking and disciplined habits, you can be successful and be happy. But you have to do the hard work. It's not gonna magically fall in your lap, you know? And I don't remember what the original question was. I'm sorry, but it's just a lot of how I feel about social media and how I feel about putting content out into the world.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think kind of what I'm hearing is, and I'm personally the same way, of like a lot of times it feels icky, right?
Yeah.
To be to put yourself out there, to be like, I'm important, right? And I understand, right?
Yeah.
Especially it sounds like in the past it was like it feels weird to promote myself because it sounds like I'm not being humble. It sounds like I'm
Yeah.
putting myself above people. But now it sounds like with a little bit more maturity, you realize even if I have a big following, that does not give me worth, right? It might
Mhm.
help my job, it might help me get sponsors, and
Yep.
ideally it gets out a good message, but my worth
Yep.
is not tied to my following. But I
Yep.
recognize that having a good following is important, and I can have a positive impact on the community.
100%. It's the exact same like realization I kind of came to the realization of when I was maybe in my early 20s, and I realized like wealth and status and power, they don't make you a better person. They maybe make you a more important person to other people, but you yourself do not change. And if anything, you're oftentimes corrupted by those forces or those elements. And I just didn't chase money. I didn't give a shit about money. I didn't give a shit about power or status, like at least in the realm of social media or jiu-jitsu, which like doesn't amount too much anyways. But even still, I actively push back on it. And as I'm older, I realize that like as an adult human being and someone who needs to take care of a family now, I do need a certain degree of wealth. I do need a certain degree of power and status to accumulate wealth and to accumulate, resources and things that will help me, not just me, but my family as well. And so, it felt like I said, maybe and maybe early on in your 20s it is selfish, chasing those things because you don't have someone who's relying on you or people who's relying, you're only just doing it for yourself. So I stopped. I just didn't push. I pushed back on it, and I tried not to do it, um but now that I'm older and I realize there are people who rely on you, and it's not just you living for yourself. You do need to, I think, not chase those things, but like acknowledge the value in those elements, like I was saying. And and it's also it's a challenge as a man, and as a human being, it's a challenge to yourself to remain true to your values and your morals even while you're chasing those things. You're chasing money and you're chasing fame and respect or whatever. Maybe not fame, but you know what I mean, like status, like I said, or power. You still need to stay true to yourself, stay true to your values, and stay humble and stay, I think, like loyal, or don't forget about the people who helped you get there as well. And I have easily the most amazing support system to ever exist. Like I'm confidently sure of that, and I couldn't bring myself to forget about them, in the pursuit of something as like trivial or I don't know, pointless as money or status.
I love it, man. You sound like an evolved human. Um,
Barely.
so yeah, so
I'm
similar
still
on
making fucking gay jokes on Instagram or
whatever.
like poop jokes, so
I
maybe not.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. So I was going through your social media a little bit before the interview. So this is a few weeks back.
Yep.
I want to know like what's the beef with Max Hansen? What's
Man,
it's okay if you don't want to talk about it, but
I don't want to talk about it, to be honest. I like Max. I respect Max a ton, but I don't think he likes or respects me. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Um, I really, like I said, I like and respect Max, so I'm not gonna talk about it. If he wants to talk about me publicly, he can, and maybe there will be a point where I feel the need to. But he said something about me on the Who's Number One press conference or whatever. Kevon, told me about it. I clapped back once or twice, and he didn't really say anything after that. And so, if he's not going to say anything, it feels like me punching down. That's like what I think. It feels me picking on someone um if I don't know, belabor that point, or that like person, and I'm not looking to do that. So I don't know. I'm gonna let Max live. He can make, the choices that he wants to make, and he can act the way he wants to act. Like I said, I like and respect his skills at least. And if he doesn't like or respect me, that's fine with me. That's his problem.
Fair
Or it's
enough.
not his, that's not his problem. Excuse me. It's not his problem at all. It's his prerogative. He can do whatever he wants in his life. So I'd rather not talk about it. I'm sorry.
No,
It genuinely feels like punching down, which like I'm talking about it. I don't like doing.
fair enough. No, I can appreciate that. And then again, I'm not trying to make this the Keith Krikorian has beef hour, but
Now let's do it.
you haven't posted about this, but at one point there was a bit of a beef with Ash Williams, right? You guys have had at least one match before.
Yeah, this one I will talk about. Yeah, this one I will. I'll talk about this. I couldn't really tell you what the distinction is. I think like it does feel like punching up a little bit more with Ash because he did beat me in the past. So this is good. This is good. Strap in, baby. So all right, I have to remind myself why I was even pissed about this because I let go of this shit pretty quick, to be honest. And this was from about a year or so, or maybe even more. Okay. So, me and Ash had a match however many years ago. It was probably, it was at least 3-4 years ago. Yeah, so maybe 3.5 or so. It was right around when Derek Moneyberg started training. But we had a match. He beat me. It was a really competitive match, and like to be honest, in the rule set, like I probably could have won. I'm not saying I should have or I did. I'm not like super proud of how I competed, but like whatever. It was a good match. Like he can't tell me it was an easy match for sure. But he won. Fair play, all good. What happened after that? Like time goes on. I don't know. He's always cool to me. He's super cool to me. Like really nice. We'd message. I'd message him questions. And I've been following him for super long time. Like, we've been following each other, talking online for a super long time. So he's always cool to me. Then what happens? Okay, then I get a match announced with Owen Jones, and then he, Ash Williams messages Owen, and he says to Owen, "Oh mate, Keith's light work. You're gonna mess him up, or something like that, or like you got this, mate, or something like that." And that like stood out to me for a lot of reasons, right? Oh no, he said what he said. He said, "Oh, that's light work, mate. Keith's not dangerous." And I was like, okay, this speaks to me for a lot of reasons because the first one being Ash has always been really nice to me, and I know that confidently that he would never say to my face, "Hey man, you're an easy match and you're not dangerous." He would never say that to my face. Like, and the second thing that bothered me about it, or I noted in my mind, was him and Owen Jones are not cool. Like he hates Owen Jones. He hates that fucking kid. I know because I know people in his camp that he's constantly talking shit about them and about me, by the way. And I don't want to get into who told me this or whatever, but like someone very close to him, several people very close to him have told me that he talks shit about me and behind my back, which I didn't really care about because like to be honest, I don't really have evidence of it, so it's like it's whatever. The Owen Jones, he showed me the message. He sent it to me, and so or I don't know if he sent it to me, but he showed me in person, so I saw it, and it's like, man, you've always been very nice to me. I know that you talk shit about me though. I know you fucking hate Owen Jones's guts, and you're messaging him some like random support or like why are you even doing that? Why are you messaging Owen? Why does he? A, he does not need the confidence. B, you don't fucking want to pump him up. Like you're just kissing his ass for no reason. And so yeah, so that fucking bugged me. So then at ADCC, I don't think I've talked about this publicly yet. I've only told this to a few people in general, but at ADCC, fucking guy, like 3 times, he like comes up to me, he's like, "Oh mate, how you doing, mate? Oh, let's go, so good to see you, man. I'm always rooting for you, mate." He comes up to me like several times, and then like I don't know. I'm brushing it off. Like I think one time was at weigh-in, so I'm not feeling good. Another time was right after weigh-in, still not feeling good. I'm not gonna like confront the guy or whatever when I'm not like feeling capable of defending myself properly. But then the third time he fucking does it, I'm just like, bro, don't fucking put your hand out, try to shake my hand, try to act all cool to me when I know you talk shit about me. I know for a fact you message Owen Jones and you said something that, like, to be honest, him saying that I'm light work and that I'm not dangerous is more insulting than just saying I don't like Keith, he's annoying or he's weird or whatever. You like that. It's like that. You're totally entitled to your opinion, but like it's facts, bro. I'm very good at jiu-jitsu. I'm not an easy match for fucking anyone, and I'm super dangerous, bro. Like this is, I'm a bit prideful of that maybe because I've worked so fucking hard to, prove those things, or at least to like, achieve those things or whatever. Like I said, I can't fucking help if you don't like me as a person and you think I'm annoying. Like that's totally separate. It's whatever. But you saying, talking that shit about me and saying that stuff, like that really bugged me. Then anyways, yeah, so like time went on, we had a match planned or whatever, but I don't know, he always seemed kind of like wishy-washy on it in general. It was like kind of a pain in the ass to even book the match. And then I did the UFC BJJ show. Polaris kind of had to cancel the match because the show was filmed beforehand and the like winners would compete on the finale, which was at the same time as the match that I'd planned with Ash. And while I'm on the show, like they couldn't keep promoting a match where it's like people would then, be watching and be like, wait, but I thought he was, like competing here or whatever. So we had to cancel the match. And yeah, and that's kind of been the end of it, to be honest. There's no one has reached out to me about rebooking the match. And, I only commented on it briefly. I think in general, and that's it. That's kind of been the last of it. I haven't talked to him. I haven't heard from him. I would say don't like him for the things he said and the things that he did, and his lack of, I don't know, like his lack of accountability, I guess. When I did talk to him at ADCC, and he was like, "Oh, mate, it's not like that, bro. It's not like that." And then I'm like, "No, bro. I know for a fact." And then this goes on for like 5 minutes, and then he goes, "Oh, mate, maybe I did say something, but it's all like just shit. We just chatting shit." And I was kind of like, "All right, so you did fucking do it. You did do it. You were just trying to lie to me. You're trying to convince me that you didn't." And I don't know, save face or just like I don't know, bro. Why are you kissing my ass? Like, why the fuck do you even care about me? And I don't know. I just like, I thought it was lame. He can comment on it if he wants or not. I don't know if he's really like the type to talk about shit like that. But well, at least like publicly, he'll talk about it all day behind your back. But I don't know. But man, those are the facts, bro. Like, he can say whatever he wants, but I don't think he would deny anything that I said.
All right. I can appreciate that. I will say, I don't know if the match is available anywhere online, but you guys had the match, I think it was at Grapple Fest.
Yeah,
Really
you commented. Yeah,
underrated.
yeah. I remember you talking to me about this after it happened. Like you actually really liked that match.
Yeah, just an absolute banger I'm not taking sides here, but I do think that that was a super close, kind of could have gone either way type of decision.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to see you guys run it back, but if you're not interested or if he's not interested, whatever, we'll see.
I'm interested, but it's like where and when would it happen? He's also probably like I don't know, almost 40. It's like I don't. It feels if that's again feels like me kind of punching down a little. Like I said, it's like it's punching up because he has beat me in the past, but at this point he's so far past his prime. I don't know. I've never really thought he was like I don't want to say he's like not good, but it's like watching him, it's like he doesn't really excite me. He's good, he's tough, he's durable, but like he's never blown me away with anything other than like a strong knee cut on your weak side, and I don't know, like the ability to withstand footlocks. Like he doesn't have and a pretty good arm drag. Beyond that, like he's never really impressed me. And so it's not really a match that would even excite me too much. Like you'd have to really entice me to maybe want to do that match at this point. But I don't know. It would be nice to just go beat up Ash for no other reason than I kind of don't like him, and I think he was a prick for talking shit about my behind my back and then denying it.
And you're no stranger to competing over there in the UK. Do you have any
Yep,
plans, right? If I have it correct, you're still the Grapple Fest and Polaris champion.
I am. Yep,
Is anything on the docket that you're aware of in the future at either one of those
yep,
promotions?
yep, definitely. I can't talk about it yet though. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But
Um,
plans are in motion to get back over there and compete.
Man, I would love to see it. And then just one more kind of question about the future plans. Like, what else? Obviously, if you can't talk about it, you can't talk about it. But
Yeah.
moving forward, what else are you planning on doing this year? And then, kind of, what's your outlook like for ADCC next year? Are you doing trials? Are you expecting an invite? Kind of, what's your focus?
So I have a match next month against Alex West on Combat Sports Report, excuse me. That is October 18th. You can watch it on pay-per-view, or if you're in Boston, get tickets. Um, that is my next thing. I have some seminars planned in between then, some personal life events in between then I'm excited about. And then after that, I mean, who knows, you know, yeah, I don't really know. I'm at a pretty cool point in my career where I don't really necessarily need to do anything that I don't want to do. I don't feel pressured into doing anything, which is awesome. It's a good place to be in. And yeah, like I said, I don't feel pressured externally or internally to prove myself or do anything. And that's a cool place to be in. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll do some UFC BJJ. Maybe I'll do some Polaris. Maybe I don't know, other events. I'm not one to say no to challenges. So anything that gets presented to me, as long as I'm healthy and there's no scheduling conflicts, I will often say yes to. So if you're a promotion that wants to book me, just reach out. I'm really easy to work with. I'm not a diva, and I like competing and I like putting on exciting matches and I like having goals. So it's fun for me to, I don't know, have motivation and purpose.
I love it. Man, I will say I've been interviewing you for a few years now. I think one of our very first interviews, you've come a long way because you were like, I remember talking to you about, I think it was in the context of like rolling with people at random gyms when you travel, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not actually that good, dude. I'm pretty like average." And I remember like ending the interview and telling somebody like, "What is this guy talking about? He fought Buchecha. He's like in
Yeah.
ADCC." So it's cool to see your progression as an athlete, as a human being, come
Thank you,
along.
bro. Yeah. I mean, obviously that was a little bit of imposter syndrome. And a lack of confidence in general. But like the difference from now to then is like I have gotten exponentially better in my mind, or not my mind, excuse me, in my mind and in reality. Like I'm much better than I was, and and I'm not dealing with. I remember when we first talked, and I remember that period of my life and how like unhealthy of a physical and mental outlook I had on life. Like I treated my body like shit. I treated which then affected my mind, and I was not healthy, excuse me, in any sense of the word. And excuse me. And that was really difficult for me. I guess like it's difficult for me to develop confidence and to, be a confident person when like I was dealing with so many like daily struggles and just like I don't know, mental hurdles that were, it was like it was basically me telling myself that I'm not worth shit. And then I'm, just like I don't know, like a not a worthy person. And I don't know, I'm like really happy to have kicked all that and, found consistent happiness and peace. And I don't know. I mean, there's some days are harder than others, obviously, but like when I think back to where I was, especially when we first talked, which is like probably 2021 or so, like, man, it's like some of the worst periods of my life. Not like externally, like I had great experiences with so many people, and I'm really grateful to everyone that was around me and pushed me and helped me. But like internally, I was just struggling every single day. Like I felt like I was stuck in fog or stuck walking through quicksand every single day. Every minute of every day like was a struggle for me, and to have moved past that is a really encouraging and positive sign in I don't know my development or whatever. And yeah, that is a huge difference. And I'm happy that you've noticed a little bit of progression, and I'm happy that you like didn't kind of just like maybe cast me off after we had the conversation. You're like, man, like, what the fuck is this guy even? What reality is this dude living in? You know, you easily could have been like, I think he's a little weird or whatever, you know, and you've been really consistent in supporting me and giving me a platform and helping and being one of those people that like helps me through those like challenges, like I was saying. So appreciate you, man.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure all the time. Anything else that you want to get off your chest before I get you out of here?
No, this is great. It's a great therapy session. It's so good. No, man, I feel good. Shout out to Tommy Fightwear. I don't know if you guys can see it. Tommy Fightwear, sorry. My sponsor, 10 Planet San Diego, my entire team, Electrum Performance, also part of my team, and everyone that helps me. Jake O'Driscoll is Adele's coach, but he's been a huge help in helping me structure my camps for the past EBI and for future competitions as well. Very, very beneficial working with him. And if anyone you're watching is looking for someone to help guide their training or their I don't know, structuring training, building systems, whatever, reach out to Jake. Thank you, Boogie, PJ, Gio, Eddie, like everyone that supports me. If I feel bad naming people because there's so many people that I couldn't name without dragging the podcast on for another hour. So yeah, just like thank you everyone, my family, my girlfriend, they're all just like so helpful. And like I was referencing earlier, I have just the best support system on earth, and I encourage anyone who is in a similar position to where I am or was to build a support system by, just being yourself, but by surrounding yourself with people that you feel motivated by, feel supported by, and who you care about as well. Like, I think all that is really huge. So, man, I'm just super grateful, and, shout out to all the people I mentioned, and, yeah.
I love it. You guys heard it. Follow Keith Krikorian. Big stuff coming up. Thanks again, Keith.
Thanks, bro.